Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about slow content and what that means for your content strategy. If you feel like you're always on a content creation hamster wheel and you feel like you're on the verge of burnout, there's an easier way that you can create content and without feeling so overwhelmed and feeling like you're always falling behind. And I want to introduce you to the concept of slow content. So, slow content goes against the constant churning of content and information that lacks depth or substance. And slow content allows you to slow down, research your content, and create content that is intentionally created with your audience in mind and is packed with resources and tips that help your content rise to the surface. So today I'm going to talk about the three elements of a slow content strategy and how you can implement that for your content creation process. So one of the key elements of slow content is that it is content that is well researched. And through the process of you conducting your own thorough research, you start to develop your own opinions or perspective on the topic or the subject. And as a result, your audience gets valuable information and your unique perspective, which not only helps your content rise above the surface, it also helps you come across as an authority. So what you want to remember here is that it's about quality and not quantity. Slow content reinforces the importance that it's important to think about quality instead of quantity when creating content. So another element of slow content is that it is thoughtfully created with your audience in mind. So you're thinking about the transformation. How are you going to help your audience solve a problem, learn a new technique, or adopt a new perspective that might help them move closer towards action or towards completing and reaching their goals? When you create content that is thoughtfully created, you're also able to identify your unique goals and what you're hoping to accomplish. So, are you hoping to have your audience join a membership group or sign up for your newsletter or download a freebie that you might have? The result of creating content that is thoughtfully created is that you're able to establish yourself as an authority or subject matter expert in the topic, which is beneficial for your audience because they get to receive content that is carefully created with them in mind, and it also helps you move closer towards your own goals as well. Another key element of slow content is that it offers value. There was a study conducted by Orbit Media that found that content that takes longer to create sees stronger results. So, what's important to take away here is that sometimes you don't need to create more pieces of content, you just need to create effective pieces of content. And so, again, slow content helps you slow down, rethink the purpose and the outcome that you want for your audience, and is jam-packed with information so that it helps rise above the surface. So if you're constantly creating content from scratch, I'm here to tell you that you don't always have to be doing that. There is a more effective way to do that, and quite frankly, there's probably a lot of things on your to-do list that you can just get rid of starting today. When you create content that is slow content, you get that one piece of content and you help repurpose it so that you have multiple pieces of assets, and then when your next slow piece of content is ready, you have already distributed and made the most out of all the content that you created. It may sound scary or liberating to accept that a lot of the tasks that you're completing right now for your content creation process probably don't need to be on your to-do list. So here's some ways that you can help execute a slow content strategy. The first thing you want to do is you want to identify what's actually working in your content creation process. So what's working? Is it the time of day that you do it, the day of the week? Is there a format that's working? You want to write this down. That's the first thing you want to do. So what is actually working? The second thing you want to write down on your list is the types of content that you like creating. Like, what do you love creating? Do you love creating video, graphics, tutorials? Do you like to create quote graphics or Instagram stories? Like, what type of content do you love creating? Is it visual? Is it audio? Is it text or written? The third thing you want to do is you want to identify what is going to be the biggest impact for you and your audience. So when you create a piece of content, think about what your ultimate marketing goal is. So are you trying to increase the number of email subscribers or subscribers to your YouTube channel? And then for your audience, what's going to be the biggest impact for them? Like, what is something that they might be struggling with or have a question about that you can help solve or provide a unique perspective on? So, the takeaway is that you want to simplify your content creation process. And I know you might be thinking, Nancy, the algorithm favors a lot of content. So, like, isn't that the only way I can achieve growth is by constantly creating content? My answer to that is that the algorithm favors consistency and valuable content. So, if you put slow content into practice, you should ideally be able to create one valuable piece of content a week and then repurpose that into multiple formats and assets so that it lasts at least a week until your next piece of content is ready. And you can just repeat that over and over and over. So, I do have one productivity hack that can help you as you're thinking about repurposing content. And that is that if, say, you create one piece of content, you should aim to create at least 6 pieces of content from that original piece. So, an example is you might have a blog post. Well, that blog post can have a quote that you can use on your Instagram grid. You can also create an Instagram story about it. You can also use that to create a newsletter. You can use that to create a TikTok video. Whatever channel you might be on, you want to identify different ways to repurpose that original piece of content. And if you need some help with repurposing your content, I actually created this worksheet right here that you can download. I'll link to it in the show notes. One of the other key benefits of slow content is that it helps you really simplify your process. If you feel like you're always having to create content from scratch, this is really going to help you save time and really maximize every piece of content. One of the things that I like to tell my clients and other people who are asking about content strategy advice is that if you spent about an hour creating that piece of content, you should also spend an hour talking about it and distributing it. Don't just hit publish and send and forget about it. Make sure that you distribute it across your other channels and really help maximize the lifespan of each post that you create. Well, that's it for me. If you liked today's video, please leave a comment and tell me which step of the slow content process you are planning to implement. Don't forget that there's a freebie that you can download that helps you repurpose and maximize your content distribution and channel strategy. And if you hit the notification bell, you can also be notified when there's a future video. Until then, keep creating, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much.